Traveling Machinist here. I figured I'd tell people kind of my background of where I kind of started back in 1988 when I graduated high school. I went to Votech for a year, two years, and then I wound up getting a job up here running this hall called Nelson Hall. Basically, I was a supervisor of the engineering programs, or a technician for the machine shop. So this was my responsibility back in the day. I'm gonna flip you around here, take you for a walk inside. I did this when I was like 20 years old, 21 maybe. And I ran it for about 5 years before I went out on my own and started my own machine shop. We'll take you a quick little tour so you kind of understand what machining is and some of the engineering programs. This is Mankato State University, by the way. So this was the main hall up to that exit sign up there. Several different labs in this building. I was also in charge of other labs in the mechanical and electrical in other buildings. There was 4 of us techs. So in this room, we have the engine dyno room. I'm going to get these guys to say a few words in a minute. Basically, you have a dyno here, chassis dyno. We got these are little dynos in here to run little motors on, or big motors. You can run any motor on these. But then they can test it. And what they do out here then, all right guys, you're up.
Okay, well here we have the dyno controllers. That's what we use to actually monitor the RPM and the load and everything that the engine's putting out. And we get our horsepower output from that. And then here I control my laptop, the ECU, so I'll change our fueling, our ignition, our timing, all that. And then on this computer, I don't have it up right now, but we're actually, new this year, we're measuring in-cylinder pressures, so we're able to see the dynamic pulses and everything.
Awesome. Maybe we'll catch back up with you guys in a couple of days, and we'll do a little more in-depth talk about it.
Yep, sounds good.
Thanks, guys. All right, so then over here, we have, this would be actual like automotive shop, where we have a lift and some of the old projects that they did. Like I said, in the future, I can probably do more in-depth on this. Got Gary over there. These were the old engine dynos that I remember. And this was like where the controls used to be. And then you had 2 rooms. Oh, maybe still is, excuse me. Anyways, this is another engine dyno room. And maybe I'll do more in-depth on some of this stuff. This has a chassis dyno also in this room. But this is all more for the automotive engineers, automotive design engineers. And I was a machinist, which is a little different, but I got to learn so much when I worked here for the 5 years. I got to work with all the professors, the other techs, the students. If anybody's watching this that knows, remembers me, I'm sure they'll say things about me. We used to do the solar car races. As you can see, there's different projects they all do. Let's doors open. This is the composites lab, and I have no idea where the lights are at. Right here on the wall. There we go. So it looks like I got a CNC router over here, which we didn't have back in the day. Basically, it's a composites lab where they'll do their fiber carbon and fiberglass type molds. Like I said, I could do more in depth on this, but right now I'm just trying to give you an overview of this this great lab that we used to have up here. Still do have up here. It's just Al's in charge now, not me. He's been doing it since I left. And this is the automations lab. That one is locked. So here's where we're gonna go in to the my main lab and where my office was back in the day. There's the boss right there sitting in the office. Basically, you got like a wood shop here on this side, so we could do all kinds of different projects out of wood or furnaces, things like that. I'll get you over to the machine side here shortly. I think Al made this into, what did he make this into? This is where he does a lot of his engine testing work. Al gets into the engines. And then over here, the machine shop side. So I would teach or supervise, teach, the students how to operate this equipment. This is a manual lathe, manual mill. And they'd have projects. And I'll show you something here real quick. They're doing a really cool little Indy car. Like these are some manual mills, 3 axes. And this old girl, this girl's been here since I've been here. This is basically a 3-axis mill, CNC mill. Basically, you hold the tool up in here, rotates, and then you got tools hanging over there. But then basically you would have a computer program that we can control all 3 axes and then machine apart out of raw stock. Now here's some of the newer equipment. Actually, that HL2 I brought in. We brought that in through the automotive side. That was one of the purchases I made. And that's a lathe. It rotates the part instead of the tool. Looks like we got a laser over here. This is new. Al brought this in. Oh, yeah. So this is kind of like a cutting laser. They would cut parts controlled through a computer. Well, that might not be G&M code, probably is. But then this would be a newer mill, the upgraded version. As you can see, tool holders, and they get more complex. These are pretty simple CNCs. Just little 3 axes. Got a controller. And then you also got extra tools, things like that. But basically we can take from raw stock and create any component we want. These are manual lathes again. Band saws, drill presses, some more manual lathes over here. Testing equipment. The old Sheldon there. And then we got, these are all manual lathes. We got some students here learning how to run them. Engineers, young engineers. What are you guys taking?
What are we doing right now?
Yeah, what? No.
I'm taking 465, which is lab experience, like kind of help the 275 students.
Mechanical, electrical?
Manufacturing engineering.
Manufacturing.
And I'm an automotive engineer.
Automotive?
Yep.
Okay. What are you guys trying to do?
We're turning a brass, bar stock into a pen holder on the lathe.
So you're getting used to the lathe and how it works.
Yep.
And again, difference between a lathe is the lathe rotates the part and the mill will rotate the tool. As you can see, the center drill here is stationary, and they'll rotate that brass bar. Talk with you guys in a little bit. So anyways, then we also have out back here, we have a welding department. Wow. Look at that nice new, that thing even hooked up yet? That's brand new saw. We got other types of equipment here, band saws, little iron worker. Just a hydraulic press that can notch, punch different types of materials. Not sure what we have back here. Looks like a plasma cutter. That's a CNC type plasma cutter. We can cut shapes and sizes out of flat stock material. Of course, we got the TIG welder, we got the MIG welder, cold saws. I'm jealous, Al. I used to use this little bandsaw all the time. That's the only bandsaw we had, I think, or horizontal bandsaw at the time. Now he got himself a Mana. Look at this thing. I'd compare that to a Marvel, but that's a nice saw. So here's another iron worker over here. This one's got like a bending die in it. But this is kind of my background as far as understanding how to make and build things. And what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to take you back to some automotive engineers that are actually building a little race car. And they fab everything here in the shop. And maybe I'll do a little series and keep up with these guys until May when I leave for the Philippines. We got some pipe benders here. Tube benders, whatever you want to call them. And this is where they would build the chassis of the Indy car I'm going to show you. Because they bent all the tubes, so they created their own chassis. And what automotive engineers, they'll design the car to specs. This is actually like a little race car that races other schools, I believe. And look at that. The old Sun distributor. I think Al needs to clean that out and get some more space. So basically, here's your raw stock materials that you would use, tubes, solids, and then throughout the process of machining, you can make a part to your design. So where's Mason at?
Just went to Al's office.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to get Mason back here. But this is that little Indy car they're doing. I'll let him explain. We'll go find him. We'll go say hi to Al again. See, like this here? You can see that they use a CNC to mill out whatever parts they were making. Mason, you ready for this? This is Mason and Al. Al runs the shop now. He's the man in charge. Mason is a automotive engineering student. So what do you got going on back there?
So I am a part of our FSAE team. We build a 2/3 scale formula car that we take to competition in Michigan every year. We do the majority of our manufacturing in-house here in the EPL. You can go take a look at the car now.
We already looked for you back there, but so you'll have to explain. I came to find you.
Yeah, I can give you a little rundown.
And you are a junior, you said.
Correct. Yep.
So
I'm a student worker in here for Al. I'll be working in here over the summer also. So here's our pride and joy that we spend. My hat or what?
Glasses.
Oh, yeah. Here's my pride and joy we spend majority or all of our time on. Right now we're in the stages of putting our body on, which is an aircraft type fabric for extremely lightweight and simple. But we just got done painting our frame the other day, so we're starting to do our full assembly so we can take it lot testing. And underneath the paint was a 1020 steel chassis that we bent, coped, and welded every single tube together on our jig table here.
And maybe we can do a follow-up here over a period of time of how your progress is.
Yeah.
Now, when do you have to race?
I think it is. The competition starts about May 15th and runs through that week into that Saturday. Can't think of the dates off the top of my head.
So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and check up on the guys. How many are in your crew?
We have a total of 12 people on the team, which is not a lot compared to other teams. They have sometimes upwards of 100 people working on the car.
Okay. Like I said, I think I'll do a follow-up in the future. And maybe I'll do a few more updates if you guys like it. Traveling Machinist out.